Do you still remember the word for 100?
100 100
Say 6 bottles of water.
6瓶水
Ask, what's your name?
你叫什么名字
And how did you say, the small dog is cute?
小狗很可爱小狗很可爱
What were the 2 words for but?
但是可是
And what were the words for breakfast, lunch and dinner?
早饭午饭晚饭
How did you say, no worries?
没关系
And what was question or problem?
问题
How would you say, no problem?
没问题
Say, no worries, I'll buy it on the internet.
没关系我会在网上买 Or, more naturally, 没关系我在网上买吧没关系我在网上买吧
How did you say, these apples?
这些苹果
And what about these fruits?
这些水果
And do you still remember how to say, I don't know him?
我不认识他
What was the full word for to study?
学习
And what about it's raining?
下雨
Say, it's raining heavily.
下大雨
And do you still remember how to say, everyone will go?
大家都要去
Say, last month I couldn't speak Mandarin.
上个月我不会说汉语上个月我不会说汉语
Say, last month I couldn't speak Mandarin, but now I can.
上个月我不会说汉语可是现在我会了上个月我不会说汉语可是现在我会了
We're approaching the end of the course now, and so rather than introduce many new words, I want instead to show you some extra ways to use the words you've already learned. As I do this, I'm going to ask you to guess at the answers. You're obviously not expected to get them all right, but by guessing first, you'll start to develop a better feel for the language. For example, how did you say, he learns Mandarin?
他学汉语
And how did you say, he can speak Mandarin?
他会说汉语
So take a guess at how you would say, he's learned to speak Mandarin. Literally, he's learned to be able to speak Mandarin.
他学会说汉语他学会说汉语
So by putting 学 and 会 together, you can say you've learned to be able to do something. Depending on the context, you could also add 了 to the end to indicate it's been completed. However, notice it's not required. 学会 can indicate having learned to do something by itself. Imagine a parent was talking about their 1-year-old daughter. How would they say, "She's learned to walk"?
她学会走路 or 她学会走路了。
Adding le there suggests it's just recently been completed. And how would you ask of an older child, has she still not learned to speak English?
她还没学会说英语吗 or 她还没学好英文吗？她还没学会说英语吗 or 她还没学好英文吗？
And here, it's actually best not to use le. Say, I attend class.
我上课
And what was, I'll buy it for you?
我给你买我给你买
So, take a guess at how you might say, I'll give you a class, meaning I'll teach you a class.
我给你上课我给你上课
So, 我给你上课 can mean I'll give you a class or I'll teach a lesson to you. What was attend English class?
上英文课
So how might you say, I'll give her an English lesson, meaning you'll teach her an English class.
我给她上英文课我给她上英文课
What was the word for where?
哪里
When replying to a question, if you want to say anywhere, you can say,
哪里都哪里都
Can you take a guess at how you would reply? Anywhere's fine. Literally, anywhere is permissible.
哪里都可以哪里都可以
And if you wanted to more generally say, I'm fine with anything, you can say,
我都可以我都可以
How did you ask, who is able to do it? Or who can do it?
谁能做
So, following the same pattern, how might you reply, anyone can do it?
谁都能做谁都能做
And how might you say, I can do everything? Literally, I all can do.
我都能做我都能做
Ask, who can do this job?
谁能做这个工作 or 这个工作谁能做
Reply, anyone can do this job.
谁都能做这个工作 or 这个工作谁都能做
And you'll notice both word orders are okay there. But remember, whatever you place at the beginning gets the emphasis. It's the difference between anyone can do this job and as for this job, anyone can do it. What were the words for to start work and to get off work?
上班下班上班下班
Say, he arrived the day before yesterday.
他前天到了 他前天到了。
How did you say, he just doesn't want to come?
他就不想来。他就不想来。
And what about, possibly he won't come?
他可能不来。他可能不来。
And there's no possibility of his father coming. Or literally, his father, no possibility of coming.
他爸爸不可能来。他爸爸不可能来。
Say, I'm not waiting for him because he's not coming.
我不等他，因为他不来。
Say, I have no time.
我没有时间。
Say, I have no time to wait for him.
我没有时间等他。
But how did you say, what time?
什么时候？什么时候？
And how about, when I was small?
我小的时候。
Now how did you say, there are 5 people in the restaurant?
饭店里有5个人。
And there are 2 bottles of beer on the table.
桌子上有2瓶啤酒。
So now say simply, there are 2 people.
有2个人。
So take a guess at how you would say, there are times, in the sense of, there are times when it doesn't work, or there are times when I'm sad.
有时候。有时候。
This 有时候 is literally, there exist times, and it effectively means sometimes or occasionally. Say, sometimes we go together.
我们有时候一起去。or 有时候我们一起去。
Say, sometimes I cook.
我有时候做饭。
And finally, what about, sometimes I cook Japanese food?
我有时候做日本菜。我有时候做日本菜。
Now what was the word for sorry?
对不起。
That's the same, doi, as correct, but in this situation it means toward. The full phrase, 对不起, literally means toward, cannot afford, effectively meaning I can't afford to face you, indicating shame. However, this general pattern of stating a verb and then putting 不起 after it can be used anywhere to express you can't afford to do the verb. What was the word for to buy?
买。
So, how might you say, I can't afford to buy it?
我买不起。我买不起。
And it's important to note that is specifically connoting an inability to afford the action rather than that something is blocking you. For example, how might you say, I can't afford to drink it?
我喝不起。我喝不起。
And what about, we can't afford to eat here?
我们在这里吃不起。 我们在这里吃不起。
The word for snacks is small eat. How might you say that?
小吃，小吃。
Say, well, let's just eat snacks then.
那我们就吃小吃吧。那我们就吃小吃吧。
Say, all the students would like to eat snacks.
学生们都想吃小吃。
Say, I want to eat.
我要吃饭。
Now, we've noted a million times that Mandarin is context dependent. Whenever a preposition like to or for isn't absolutely necessary, it's omitted. And you can see there is no to in I want to eat, because I want eat is easily understood given the context. But sometimes these prepositions are necessary for a sentence to be understood. For example, in the sentence, I said to him, you do need something to indicate the direction. Otherwise, it might be unclear whether you mean I said to him or I said him. What was the word for sorry?
对不起。
In this situation, we said dui meant in the direction of or toward. So, when necessary, we can actually use it to mean to. Now, do you remember how you said me and him?
我和他。
Say, me and him go.
我和他去。
What about me and him spoke? Literally, I with him spoke.
我和他说。我和他说。
So how might you say, I said to him? Literally, I towards him spoke.
我对他说。我对他说。
Say, I said to him that I didn't want to go.
我对他说，我不想去。我对他说，我不想去。
So when a sentence is unclear, doi can be used just like the English word to indicate the direction something is happening. Now, do you remember the full word for inside?
里面。
And what about upper side or upper surface?
上面。
So that mian meant side, surface or face. Now if doi means toward and mian meant face, how might you say face toward?
面对。面对。
This can be used to express things like facing someone or even facing reality. However, it's usually only used in more serious situations, so you wouldn't use it to say, I can't face going to work, just because you couldn't be bothered. That being the case, how might you say, I can't face him? Literally, I'm unable to face toward him.
我不能面对他。
And I don't want to face him.
我不想面对他。
Now, can you guess how you would say face to face?
面对面。面对面。